Hello everybody, this is Blades here and welcome to a F1 2013 Co-op Championship with Mackie. We are going to commentate the races alternatively, so I'm going to commentate the first one, Mackie's going to commentate the second one, and then we'll switch each race. So here I am commentating Melbourne on my qualifying lap. This is my fastest lap, so we're on the option tyres here. I managed to get P8 with the prime tyres, so I thought I would try and go a little bit further with the option tyres just to get a bit further up the grid. So we've done a pretty good first sector at the moment. Someone got in the way of me, I think it was Vern, but I managed to just about avoid him. And we are going down into third gear here. Again, Alonso's very close to being in the way there. I managed to get the car slowed down to get it round him. So there's still some time to be found in this lap time. But as you can see, there's only 4 minutes left, and I wanted to save these tyres for the race. The one drawback that I didn't do was check the weather for the race. I should have done that. As you can see there, cutting the first corner a bit, although I don't think I've really gained an advantage from cutting that corner because I did hit the bollard and it sort of puts the car off track a bit. Coming down to third gear here on the right hander, and keeping the speed pretty high through these sort of medium speed corners, and the penultimate corner, now the final corner. It's very difficult to get right. There's a lot of potential for wheel spin on that corner, but as you can see, I get P3 from that lap time. However, I think at the end I get P4 because someone beats it. But here we go, Mackie's lap here. Sorry it's a bit sort of laggy and stuff. He accidentally recorded in 1080 when we were meant to record his side in 720 because he can't do 1080 with his computer. But Grosjean catastrophically gets in the way. Mackie actually couldn't manage to beat this time because he couldn't get out of the pits to do another lap. So unfortunately he had to put up with this lap, so cutting quite a few of the corners, extending some as well. But he does well to get in the position that he does, which we'll find out at the end here. He's on rich mixture to keep his to speed up lap time a bit. He's coming into the corners. Really need to get a good exit on this corner, as there is a straight coming up to maximise the top speed. You need to get a good exit, and he is running low on fuel. Pick getting out of the way nicely. Down into 6th very late there, and extending the corner a little bit. We have set the AI onto expert difficulty and the rules and regulations to corner cutting only, because the game isn't very good at judging when you get penalties. So we're going to judge for ourselves if we get any penalties. So obviously if we cause a huge collision, then we can we'll give ourselves a 10-second penalty or drive through or whatever. But I think we'll probably look at it after the race and then adjust any positions. But there you are, Mackie getting into P11 with that lap. I think he got to P9, but people beat him. As you can see there, Alonso got into pole, which pushed me down into 4th. But now we are going to move on to the race of Australia, the first Grand Prix of the 19 to come, or the 18 to come now, since we've done this race. But as you can see, it is full wet weather. Now, me and Mackie both haven't practiced that well on the wet, on this game especially, so we were not looking forward to this race. So here we go then, 5 lights and we're off. Trying to minimise wheel spin, doing an alright job, but really getting bogged down a little bit there. Vettel getting a better start, keeping ahead of me a little bit, and Hamilton, I think that was Hamilton, then coming up on the outside, doing really well. I outbrake all of them though, as you can do every track, every corner. The first corner is always easy to overtake. Using up the rest of my curves there to try and get past Grosjean. Managed to do it, down into first, keeps the apex, and lots of wheel spin out of that corner there. So the main problem was this wheel spin. We had not learned how to manage the wheel spin in the wet, let alone the dry, so it was really difficult to exit out the slow corners easily. And as you can see here, I'm doing alright on the first lap here, gaining a little bit of an advantage. The AI... Oh, The AI are usually a little bit slower at the end of the first and the beginning of the second sector. No. The end of the first and the beginning of the third sector. Because there are some quite sort of precise corners that you can outbrake them on, and cutting those that chicane a little bit, which you'll see me do quite a lot in this race, because we only had a little bit of practice before the race, so we hadn't learned the track off by heart. So this part of the track, the area are a little bit slower, especially the two corners back. You'll see me do a lot of overtakes there. But these final two corners are really difficult to get right. There's a lot of wheel spin coming through this corner, and if you touch the grass like I did there, you lose the back end. Just managing to keep under control to not smash Grosjean off the track. So trying to get into Alonso's slipstream, can see absolutely nothing. Managed to keep it in, extending the corner massively, and then getting even more oversteer on lap 2 here. And there you go, everyone's flying past. Nearly hit Button, didn't see him coming, but we carry on. And there goes Perez. Just oh no, we're getting back out, and we get Button back. And I think my engineer tells me to calm down a bit, which I do eventually do, because it's only lap 2. So we are still trying to catch up with Vettel now. Race sort of being ruined from those two drifts, if you'd say. I lost the back end just because of the amount of wheel spin I was getting. There was no grip on the rear tyres, and just skidded around. Managed to keep it more or less under control, but still lost lots of time. So we are trying to get back up to Vettel here for 4th position. My goal was to get a podium just because of where I qualified, but as you can see, I'm making loads of mistakes, more oversteer, and there you go, that's my race pretty much over now for podium or maybe even points. So again, nearly hitting a lot of these people coming past, yeah, my race does improve towards the end, so hopefully we can look forward to that. So we are trying to catch up with Raikkonen now. Ricciardo's right up my gearbox, and I outbrake myself slightly. Managed to keep it on the track though, and again, lots of wheel spin. Having to fight the oversteer a little bit. That wasn't too bad though, using the rest of my KERS. And as you can see, a 1:37, that's 10 seconds faster than my fastest lap. So there you go, and more oversteer coming out that corner. That corner and the last corner is really difficult to get it right. These sort of, the middle sector's not too bad, just the chicane's a little bit trickier to get hold of now. And as you can see, I've got it on manual suggested, and you really don't want to be following these suggested gears in the wet, because that's really meant for dry tyres or dry conditions, so I wouldn't follow that. But as you can see, we've skipped on to laps 8 now. People are pitting, and I was really weird. That was really weird, because in the race strategy before the race it said I didn't have to pit, so I didn't worry about it getting more oversteer, by the way. So I was a bit worried. I was like, oh god. So you can see me changing to the tyre wear, and I'm like, oh geez, they actually are getting pretty worn out. So I decided to just try and follow Bottas and see when he pits, and then pit behind him, which I believe is at the end of this lap anyway. But you may have also seen I was on optimal fuel, and that is because I forgot to change it from rich after the start. Usually I'll turn it to rich, do the first few corners, and then turn it back to standard. I forgot to do that, so I was on -1 fuel for a lot of the race. So I had to keep switching between standard and lean, which wasn't too bad because the track hasn't got that many long straights, which is alright. And yeah, so we're still trying to catch up with Bottas here. We're now in P7 just because of the people that have pitted. And as you can see, I'm getting a little bit better now. That chicane's still extending the corner slightly, but we will not worry about that. So we'll go through a few of the decisions that we made. We chose Sauber just because they're a pretty quick car. We don't want to go for the fastest because we'd easily get pole race win every time. So we decided to not go for that. But here we go. Bottas has pitted, so I follow him in. And I think I do get a better pit stop, but oversteer into the pit lane, hit the wall slightly, but we carry on. and select wet tyres there just to make sure. But yeah, we picked Sauber because they're a sort of middle team. They're pretty quick, but not the fastest, not the slowest. We'll see what pit stop we get here. Great view from the wheel putter onerer. I don't know, the person that puts the wheel on. But a 3-second pit stop, that's pretty average for this game. It's usually 3 seconds, maybe just under, just over. So yeah, make sure we don't come out the white lines. And yeah, we chose expert difficulty because we are both pretty quick and we can both handle expert. But as you can see now, we're moving on to lap 9. We're right behind Bottas here, getting lots of wheel spin out of that corner though. So that gives me pretty bad top speed coming down this straight. As you saw, Bottas got quite far ahead of me. And yeah, but we catch up to him through the first corner. I'm using up my curves. Can't see anything, hit the back of him slightly. Give him a little bit of a boost, but I managed to outbrake him here. Do I get it slowed down? Just about. Having to make lots of corrections because of the oversteer. As you can see, just by touching the curb slightly, because it's so wet, you can spin out really easily. So it was definitely an aim to try and avoid that. But as you can see, my best lap was, I think that says a 1:36.4, and they were doing 1:35.5, I think was the fastest. So it was ridiculous how quick they were in the wet, just because we hadn't managed to find out the actual, like, we hadn't managed to work out like wheel spin and controlling that. But we're moving on to lap 11 here, coming up to the back of Di Resta, who is the car next. We're in P11 now, trying to get the points here. We're 2 seconds behind him, and I just want to quickly mention that Mackie had a really poor race. A couple of things went wrong for him, and a lot of wheel spin, and he had to pit for, I think, a front wing, which meant he had to do a 2-stop because his tyres wouldn't, I think they would have just about reached, but he didn't want to risk it. So he didn't in the end finish last. So, and also his recording was really laggy, so because like I said, he accidentally recorded in 1080p. But as you can see here, this corner they take very slowly. As you can see, I've really caught up with him just through that braking point, and got the power down much earlier than they do. So in the wet, I found that the quickest way, as you can see there, 1:35.7. No, I can't read that from here. But as you can see, I forgot what I was talking about, but they don't manage to get the power down as much as you do in some of the corners. But then, like that corner there is pretty difficult to get right. But as you can, those AstroTurf sections are really slippy in the wet. But I think I was talking about how to manage in the wet. In the wet, I find braking really early and sort of using the gears to slow down is the quickest way for me anyway, because I managed to slow down sort of more controlled than I would if I just went straight into the corner, geared down really quickly, full amount of brakes that you can do without locking up, and then trying to get through the corner. I find that you slide around a lot and it's quite difficult to control. So I just sort of did the braking early, gearing down slow as you can see there, and really catching up to them though, because I get a much better exit. Lots of wheel spin again though, and I must say this is pretty difficult place to overtake, but with gear down here I couldn't see the corner at all, and I just managed to get a better exit. As you can see, I'm on lean, so he is keeping up with me slightly, but he backs out of it, and yeah, that's that move done. So I'm in P10 now, and got Perez ahead, who's around about 10 seconds ahead, so there wasn't much point in pushing a lot. It was just about trying to get to the end of the race with enough fuel and trying to save the tyres till the end as well, which was pretty simple to be honest, because I managed to get over halfway on the race with one set of wets, so I should be able to like stay or keep tyres as well. So we're on the final lap here. We have caught up to, well, we did catch up to who is Webber now. We were 6 seconds behind them, but I made a slight mistake and hit the wall a little bit, and that really slowed me down. So Di Resta was right on my tail, but I managed to pull the gap out again. So we're on the penultimate, well, not penultimate, on the final lap. I'm actually able to go up to rich now because I've saved enough fuel. We're on +1, but straight back to optimal again. So back down to standard. Trying to use up all the fuel possibly can, because I mean, if they give you that much, you might as well use it all. So going green in that sector. 1:36.4 is my fastest lap. And yeah, so you can see I'm much quicker than the cars ahead. I'm now only 6 seconds behind as I cut that corner. Definitely still need to get used to the wet tyres and the wet conditions. As you can see, there is Mackie on the left there. Seo Henken. He made that name up in FIFA, and that's where he got it from. Again, cutting the corner, really losing time there. I think I could have done a faster lap if I hadn't cut that corner, but as you can see, Grosjean finished already, so definitely need to improve consistency and speed. And again, another fastest lap, 1:35.6 I think that is, so just under a second faster. But that corner, if you brake too much, I really found that you slide out of it, and then again, lots of wheel spin. So next race is Malaysia. Mackie will be commentating over that race, and we'll have both perspectives as well. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. I came 10th, and that puts me 10th in the Drivers' Championships, and unluckily, Mackie got 20 seconds, you can see there, 1 lap behind. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.